Okay, guys, let me tell you something about the crude oil when it cause fight for the whole world today. You see this invade when America and Israel they try to invade Iran. They say that because Iran they produce nuclear weapons and they cannot let Iran do that. But if we look well, there's also another reason. It's because of oil, right? I will explain which there later. But you see, we have a problem in our hands coming up. In the next 50 to 100 years, this problem will don't be very well established. Now, the world, planet Earth, has existed for about 4.5 billion years. That's how old the Earth is. How do we know that the Earth has existed that long? When we test the rocks, when we test the moon rocks, and the things we exist on the earth before us, we can tell their age. Science has reached where they can know your age with your teeth and your bones. We can know age with buried animals. So we see the bones of buried. We can know how long these animals have been on earth. When how long ago that particular animal lost their life when God they buried under the ground, So from our scientific testing, we can tell that Earth is about 4.5 billion years old. There's just a 1% mistake in it. If we are missing, it's just about 1%, which is about 50 million years. So any idea is about 4.5 billion years old. Now, around 250 million years to 300 million years ago, crude oil started to be produced, to be created. Let me use the word created. That time man never come. You see, man on earth now will be the last born. We have been here for just about 300,000 years. That is judging with the oldest fossils we have seen, the oldest bones we don't see. Say, this bone a human being bone, but we test and when this person die, by the time we test and find out, say, okay, the oldest we have seen is just about 300,000 years. That's how long man has been on earth. However, crude oil started to be created around 250 million to 300 million years ago, which means if you come out 300,000 from 250 million years, it's still 300,000. It's still 250 million years. Which means over 250 million years before man was ever created was when crude oil started to be created. Now, how did crude oil come into existence? There were organisms on earth as at that time. There were plants and fossils. When they die, those organisms and plants and animals, when they die, their bodies covered by the earth started to generate to what we now know as crude oil. It took over 300 million years for that to happen, right? Now, when did man find out about crude oil? Just 600 years before Christ. So I think it was first of all found in China, if I'm not mistaken. Just 600 years before Christ, we found crude oil. So something that had been created with over 300 million years, we found out just about 2,000 plus years ago, right? Now, in these 2,000 plus years, human being almost use half of the crude oil we day under the earth finish. And every day we use more. So there was a time the whole crude oil where the world need was just about 10,000 barrels. There was a time it was just about 1 million barrels. There's a time it was about 10 million barrels. As I'm talking to you today, the world uses about 100 million barrels of crude oil every day. Every day. If we continue like this, every month we use 3 billion barrels of crude oil. In a year, we use 36 billion barrels of crude oil. In 10 years,